Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
We would now like to welcome dear Karthik Vyas to speak on awakening the inner consciousness, the essentials.
Thanks so much for that. Over to Karthik Vyasa.
Masters, my dear soul seekers, and my dear soul friends. First of all, I bring you greetings from the Yoga Institute, Santa Cruz, Mumbai, the world's oldest organized center of yoga, which celebrates its 94 years next week. I would like to thank Dr. Yugandhar and Dr. Padma Shri Dr. Karthik for having the vision for this first World Parliament on Spirituality and the acumen to organize it and execute it so wonderfully. Please join me in giving them a standing ovation. Let's applaud their efforts. Thank you, sir. Let's stand up and give them a standing ovation, please. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Please be seated. It was the French philosopher, Jesuit priest, and biologist, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, who said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And on this journey of human life, we need to reconnect to this spiritual being of ours. So what is this consciousness? We call it by many names. In English, we call it the soul, the spirit, the seer. In Hindi, we call it the Atma. In the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, we call it the Drashta, the Purush, the inner consciousness. How does it function in us? It functions as awareness. This ability to be simply aware. So when we talk of awakening this inner consciousness, what does this oldest text of yoga, the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, tell us? It tells us that there are 5 characteristics of this inner consciousness. First, it is pure, Shuddha. Second, it is infinite, Anant. Third, it does not change. 4, it is not active. It does not take action. And 5, It is the illuminator of things. It reveals things to us. It unfolds whatever is happening in this mind of ours. So if we need to go from awakening this inner consciousness to experiencing this inner and eventually being one with this inner consciousness, is there a comprehensive system that allows us to do it? Yes, there is one comprehensive system. And this system is popular all over the world as yoga. What is the Bible? What is the Quran? What is the Bhagavad Gita of yoga? It is this oldest text that I referred to a little earlier, the Yoga Sutra, compiled or written or composed by Maharishi Patanjali 2,500 years back. So what does it tell us? In the little time that we are together here, let me take you through a quick journey of what the Yoga Sutra tells us about unfolding this inner consciousness. If we have to be one with this inner consciousness, how do we do it? How does yoga do it? And right at the beginning, Patanjali tells us, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is an arrest of all the fluctuations of mind. How do we do that? For that, we need to understand that it is this mind that can lead us towards experiencing and being one with this consciousness, or it can hinder us and slow us down. What is this mind? How can we know it? How do we understand it? And we are told that this mind operates at 5 levels. Each level, the level of consciousness, is obviously going to be different. Let me start from the bottom. The 5th level of the mind is the Shipta Chitta. The yoga word is Chitta. The English word mind nowhere comes close to it. In fact, in the yoga texts, in the yoga tradition, we are told that the Chitta has many components. So the Shipta Chitta, what is it prone to? Power. It seeks power and it wants power. If such a person with such a mind is a religious devotee, this person will seek the siddhis, which are powers. Above that, if I can use the word above, is the 4th mind, the Mudha Chitta. What does it seek? Pleasure, pleasure of the senses. What does it crave for? Earthly possessions. What does it want through maybe religious pursuits? The fulfillment of earthly desires. The 3rd level of the mind is the Vikshipta Chitta. Most of the time, distracted. Distracted by people, distracted by thoughts, distracted by situations, distracted by what's happening inside the body, distracted most of the time, but sometimes steady. When it is steady, it understands the need to awaken the inner consciousness. And all those of us who are here, we understand the need to awaken this inner consciousness, and that's why we are all here. Unfortunately, because of its very nature, it is unable to be consistent in its practice of even awakening this inner consciousness. It tries and maybe gives up. It again tries and again gets distracted by something or the other. Above this is the superior mind. And this is the Ekagra Chitta. Steady, focused, concentrated, gets one-pointed, and eventually transforms itself into one-pointedness and remains one-pointed. This is the Chitta that experiences the glory of this inner consciousness. And above that is a mind called the Niruddha Chitta. What is it? A mind that has been stilled, the mind that has been mastered, the mind that has been tamed, the mind that has been controlled. So why must we control this mind? Why must we control this Chitta? Like that story which I'm sure some of you have heard, there was this king who had a very intelligent monkey. Every night the king would give instructions to the monkey and to the guards. The monkey would understand whatever the king instructed to the guards as well as if it was to the monkey. One fine day the king realized that every night when I go to bed, not only are these guards guarding me, but so does the monkey. And the monkey follows all the instructions. So why keep the guards? Perhaps his economy was down, there was recession, he wanted to cut costs, and he said, let me have only the monkey guarding me. And he gives the monkey instructions. Tonight I go to sleep, you guard me, and this is what you do. The monkey nods. The king goes to sleep peacefully. The monkey keeps watch. A fly comes, hovers around the king. The monkey is upset, shoos the fly away. The fly goes away, comes back after some time. The monkey is now getting angry, again shoos it away, and the fly goes away. The fly comes back around the monkey and around the king. The monkey starts chasing the fly and comes back. I have to guard the king. Perhaps thinking like that. The fly once again comes, sits on the nose of the king, and the monkey that is so furious says, once and for all, let me put an end to this. Takes that sword and wants to simply slaughter this fly. And what does it do? Chops off the king's nose. The monkey is our mind. The king is this soul, the consciousness. The monkey, the mind, is a good slave, but it is a poor master. The monkey, the mind, is a good slave, but a poor master. Therefore, mastering this mind and getting it out of the way is going to be a task. How do we do that? Let me share another quick story, which I often like to say for this point. There was this man who had 4 wives. The first one, maximum time with her, loved her dearly. The second one, he took great care of her and ensured that no harm comes to her. The third wife organized his life very well. His routines, his needs, took care of every little detail of his. The fourth wife, he neglected. Never even bothered to look at her. And as all such things happen, there came a time when this was going to be the last day of his life on earth, and he knew that life was going by. He calls all his 4 wives and he asks them, "Won't all of you accompany me beyond death?" The first wife tells him, "Look here, I will come with you to the funeral, to the Smashan Ghat, and that's where I leave you." The second one, when the husband asked her, said, "Why should I come with you? In fact, as soon as you go, someone else. I have already found someone else." The third wife, when he asks her, says, "Don't you worry. I will ensure that from the moment you die till the moment you are on the funeral pyre, I will organize every little detail for you. You will have no discomfort. Every little thing of yours will be taken care of. I will ensure that." The husband was completely disappointed. Forgetting that he had a 4th wife, he does not even ask her. And then he hears a gentle voice calling him and saying, "I am also here. I will accompany you beyond death." Who are these 4 wives? The first wife is the body. We take so much care. We spend most of our time with it. The second wife, our possessions, our things that we love and cherish and take care of so dearly. The third wife, the mind, organizes things for us. The fourth wife, we don't even think about it until we come to the first World Parliament on Spirituality. The fourth wife is the soul. And what does Patanjali tell us? When we will master the mind, tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Then the seer, this inner consciousness, abides in itself. Then we are one with this consciousness. We have gone from mere awakening, from experiencing to being one with it. And that is where we are one. Why does this not happen so easily? 4 reasons. 1, we need to overcome and eventually burn the pain-causing structural defects that are there in our personality, which Patanjali calls them the kleshas, 5 of them. The second reason why to awaken and be one with this inner consciousness is our chitta remains predominantly at the lower 3 levels, lifetime after lifetimes. The third reason, our karmas, the past as well as the present ones. And the fourth reason, we do not realize that there are 9 impediments, there are 9 obstructions that are not allowing this inner consciousness to unfold itself. So how do we do it? Patanjali says, yoga is the way. How as householders do we go on this journey? Where do we start? And if we read Patanjali and Vyasa, the first commentator on the Yoga Sutra, between the lines, they tell us that for householders, perhaps the best path are the 8 steps, the 8 angas, popularly called the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. What are these 8 steps and how does yoga do this entire journey and entire process is what it's all about. And in hall 4, from 2 onwards till 5 onwards, there are going to be all of us yoga teachers who are going to take this journey. How do we awaken? How do we go from mere the physical practices of yoga towards this realization? It is this that the Yoga Institute has stood for 94 years. The founder, Sri Yogendra ji, was called the householder yogi, who lived a householder's life, but lived as a yogi. The tradition being carried on by his eldest son, Dr. Jaidev Yogendra, and his wife, Hansa Jaidev. As I said, we celebrate our 94 years next week, December 25 and December 26. Those of you who are in Mumbai and those of you who would like to, all of you are welcome, where we have from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, symposia, exhibition, and a whole lot of activities. All of it completely free. The Yoga Institute is a completely self-funded organization. Remember, my dear soul masters, I don't wish to preach, but I only wish that all of us use the wonderful energy that we have had over here in these last 4 days to experience this oneness. And that is why the earth is, the truth is, we are one. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing these beautiful stories with us.